This is a Warhammer 40K battle between some Eldar and some Blood Angels that are hiding. We're starting off good. We'll go over the armies in just a second. The deployment's Vanguard Strike, and the mission is the Relic. We're going to use our lovely turn counter as the Relic. For my army, I'm playing Blood Angels. We have 2 assault squads that are split into combat squads right now. There's basically 2 plasma pistols in each squad, and each one has a power sworded fiend. Sergeant, I forgot the name. They're split into combat squads. Each one has a plasma pistol, and then 2 of them will be joined by sanguinary priests, which are nicely unpainted, but they're still red. And they have jump packs. And that die signifies that combat squad got the red thirst. Now, I'm not sure if the whole squad was supposed to get it, or if it's just combat squad. I'm pretty sure it's units after deployment. The rest of the army is in reserves, all riding in the Storm Raven. A lot of eggs in one basket. We've got 10 Death Company with bolters. I know a lot of people will be like, hey, you guys, they're doing it wrong. But I don't care. I'm going to try it out. There's 2 Power Fists in there as well. They're accompanied by Tycho, which is my Warlord, who allows me to reroll reserves for his Warlord trait. And we have an old Lamarty's model, who's actually just going to be proxied in for a chaplain because my chaplain's not here right now. Regular chaplain, no upgrades. And last but not least, we have a Furiosa Dread with a frag cannon. On to Eldar. Eldar! New Eldar!
Yeah. Okay, so friendly game because I have no idea how to use these guys now that the new rulebook's out. But we're trying some new things. Number 1, I would never use Dark Reapers, but now suddenly they're kind of funny. So I'm using 8 of them with a Farseer. Go Farseer. Farseer is stock. He's got his little Witchblade and nothing. He rolled once on the Divination chart, scoring him Guide. No,
he
what
got
is it?
Perfect timing.
Sorry, perfect timing. Woo. Allowing them to ignore cover. And then we got Eldritch Storm and Guide for his Eldar powers, which should be entertaining because Eldritch Storm actually does something now. Because it was garbage before. Okay, we've got Wraith Lord, Missile Launcher, and Star Cannon. And over here, we got 6 Warp Spiders. One of them is upgraded to the Exarch, who's got his... Actually, I don't think he's got any upgrades. I think he's just special, because he has, I don't know, leadership. We've got a Fire Prism here, Hollow Fields, Crystal Targeting Matrix, and Spirit Stones. Falcon doubling for a Wave Serpent, because I was foolish and left mine at home. Has Hollow Fields and Spirit Stones, and 10 Dire Avengers in them. Well, we're trying out some new things. We've got some Rangers, accompanied by a Black Ranger in there who's going to be Illic, and we'll see how good Illic Night Spear actually really is. Back over here. My sexy Dire Avengers, which are Warp Splatters, because I forgot those at home too. And because I also play Dark Eldar, this is going to sub in for the new flyer for the Eldar, the Crimson Hunter. So we'll see how that does. It's got 2 Bright Lances and Pulse Laser, and...
It's your Exarch one?
It's the Exarch one, with some fancy special rules, because Exarchs can take powers.
Before I start, this is the end of Blood Angels turn 1. Blood Angels won the roll-off, and Eldar decided not to seize the initiative because he would have had maybe a shot. At the end of Blood Angels turn 1, night fighting is also on. I forgot to mention that, but at the end of Blood Angels turn 1, these guys kind of shuffled around just to get out of line of sight.
Prevent the one shot?
Prevent the one shot, pretty much, yeah. And these guys jumped up. The priest jumped out of the one squad and joined the other one because Red Thirst kind of negates half of his effect. And they moved up and ran 4 inches, both squads, and they're hiding because Marine Killers are there. Back after Eldar turn 1. Alright, end of Eldar turn 1 was kind of a little bit painful. The Wraith Lord
Moved up.
Well, he moved up. Everything kind of moved.
Reapers ran away.
They ran away from potential assaults. The tanks kind of moved around. The Fire Prism came up here. The
Wave Serpent.
Wave Serpent, I was going to call it, not Falcon, because it's cheating right now. It moved that way. But the Fire Prism in the shooting phase opened fire against that squad in the front and caused a wound on the back squad and killed the guy. The Wraith Lord also opened fire and shot at them.
Hitting them with a missile launcher.
That's right. And then Illic and his Ranger squad also shot into there. Illic killed the guy.
Rangers did nothing.
And now these guys are pinned. They passed all of their leadership checks. And that's about it. On to Blood Angels turn 2. End of Blood Angels turn 2 saw some scary business. The Storm Raven came in from reserves, showed up here, and shot up the Rangers. It actually only killed, was it 3 or 4?
4 guys.
It was 4 guys. He went to ground, giving him a 3+ cover save. Then we had the Assault Marines who were over here. They jumped up. They threw a grenade and shot the
Plasma pistols.
Yeah, the plasma pistols. They shot at the Fire Prism. Did nothing. And then they barely made their charge in. And they blew it up.
They punched it to death.
The explosion killed one of the Assault Marines and one of the Rangers. To add to it, I used Power of the Machine Spirit on the Invisible Multi-Melta to try and shoot the back of the tank, but he Jinx saved it with the 4+ because of his upgrade. And forgot to stand these guys back up. They're no longer pinned. Yay! Woohoo! Everybody else kind of moved up, so no one's left here. And that marks the end of the turn.
Alright, end of Eldar turn 2. We saw the... who's it? Storm Raven come in. It did unload all of its shots, but my retaliation was sending the Crimson Hunter after it. Fancy new plane, killed it with its 2 Bright Lances, rolled lucky 6s, it blew up, and the Egg Basket did horrendous damage to everything inside. 11 wounds to the guys inside, and the Dreadnought was glanced once.
Oh yeah, we had to play that.
Yes, the Dreadnought's not quite dead yet. There we go.
He would be about there.
We almost forgot about him.
Did.
We had lucky Star Cannon shots, powered up by Psychic Powers. Take out...
It was the last of the Death Company.
The last of the Death Company. We had Wraith Lord over here, also powered up with sexy Psyker Powers, who sniped out Tycho, who was the last man standing of that squad. We had Warp Spiders jump from behind cover up here. They shot, managed to kill, what was it, 1 guy, and then they ran away because they can run and shoot. Yay, Eldar rules.
And then the Reapers killed the...
And then, yeah, we got like 2 shots over here.
2 guys worth of shots.
But managed to kill the 2 guys that were previously pinned in earlier turns. So, hooray! I get Warlord for Tycho, and moving on to Blood Angels turn 3.
End of Blood Angels turn 3. Saw this Assault Squad jump up and take out Illic, which got me the point for Warlord. Dreadnought moved up and ran. Total of 12 inches. He's super eager. And he's going to try and attempt at killing things. These guys jumped over, tried to charge. The back squad tried to charge first. He declined to overwatch. And then waited for this charge to happen. Shot them up, killed 2 guys, and they failed to charge. End of the Eldars turn 3. Rather predictably, the Dreadnought got taken out. There was no way I could face him any direction that would save him from that. One of these guys got taken out by, I believe, the Warp Spider shooting.
Yep.
And then...
No, Flamer. We're Flamers on the Wraith Lord.
They both shot. One of them killed one guy. And I made 1,000,000 saves and feel no pains. And then we had the Reapers and the Farseer shoot stuff into there. Using Eldritch Storm, which was terrible. We only killed a guy.
But the Reapers were cool.
The Reapers killed just about everything. And then...
This is the Wave Serpent with Twin Link Star Cannons.
Yeah.
Picked off one of the 2.
Yeah, so we got 1 Fearless Sergeant left. So I'm down to 3 models, and I'm still actually winning the game by 1 point.
Yeah.
That's not going to last. But it's on to turn 4 for Blood Angels. We'll see what I can do. Alright, this is the Blood Angels turn 4 ended with a bunch of Overwatch killing stuff. I was trying to tie people up. I didn't think it was a survive. I'd pretty much given up by now. But I do have a sergeant holding the relic and an entire army aiming at him. So we're just going to do this for fun because I know he's going to die. But we're going to roll all the shots and see what he can survive.
All the shots simultaneously.
And that's kind of game over. We'll do epic handshake even though the game was kind of silly. Yeah, it's kind of predictable. The army I brought was... I had more than half my army in the Storm Raven, and he got lucky with a pen. Although he did have enough shooting power to actually glance it to death. It didn't even get to the second gun. But
that's the second, first of 2 vehicles that Crimson Hunter took out.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, he took out the dreadnought, but that wasn't a big deal. The dread was kind of surrounded at that point, and I couldn't point him in a direction to face his armor 13 to save him. And if it came down to it, it would have gotten to an assault phase.
Lance weapons kind of don't care about 13 either.
It brings it down to 12, but you were on 10. I think you rolled a 4 and a 5 anyway, so it was a glance and a pen.
Yeah.
Which would have killed them. Yeah. It's not really indicative of Eldar versus Space Marines. I was playing a stupid list just for fun because I wanted to try that Death Star unit at my peril. It usually works pretty good if I can get the guys out, but I placed it in a dumb spot. I should have flown it almost across the board so his plane had a hard time getting to it. Or at least placed him weird. Although I guess he could have just kind of started on the corner and kind of flew to here or something. Anyways, I don't know, the new Eldar are pretty cool. The ability to run and shoot in the same phase is kind of cool. Although it's something to get used to.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot that I actually made use of with that. The warp spiders, they kind of jumped in and couldn't really run away fast enough. The Dark Reapers have become hilarious, being able to move and shoot and not have to fire snapshots.
Yeah. We were discussing earlier too, if I had brought my usual, which is usually a couple of ball predators, it would have made a big difference. He would have had to hide them.
Yeah.
And he didn't have much shooting that could have taken them out. And really, I should have brought them instead of the huge death company and everything.
We'll say it's a lot nicer seeing Footdar that can actually survive a game.
Yep.
So, yay Footdar.
Woohoo!
With no Harlequins.
Yeah. The other thing that was kind of cool to see was Illic.
Yeah.
He was kind of fun, except he was placed right in harm's way with the Storm Raven coming in.
Yeah.
And then I chopped him to pieces with Assault Marines.
He'll be worth taking again, I think.
Yeah.
He's a ballistic skill 9, so he's pretty much killing anything he shoots at.
Yep. AP2 sniper rifle is kind of cool.
With Distort.
Distort, yeah, that's necessary. That's instant kill things. It's kind of funny that he can instant kill most monstrous creatures too.
I like Bloodthirster. Whoa! Send you back to the warp.
Just blow his head off. Yeah. I don't know, is there anything else in here? The warp spiders kind of play the same, I find.
Yeah, more or less.
They
jump in, shoot, and run away.
Yeah.
It's just running in the shooting phase instead of the assault, and not as far.
They're not as quick, I guess. Although they had that special rule that I guess lets them move differently, but ignore terrain or dangerous terrain.
Yeah, they ignore dangerous terrain if they use the 3d6 movement, or they move as normal jump infantry, which is 12.
Which is cool.
Which is interesting. It's nice for jumping back into cover if you've shot something, so...
Yeah.
Run and hide. The Farseers aren't point sinks. They're awesome.
Yep.
I use mine more as just a army buffer, but...
I guess that's kind of the way it works.
Be stupidly fun. I just rolled all defensive powers, that's all.
I think if I played Eldar, I would kind of go for that. Get guide and prescience.
Yep.
Just buffing your army is really helpful, and they're not that expensive. It's what, 100 points?
Reliable.
Yeah. And having mastery level 3 is kind of nice, even though, like, the way he had his powers, he had one that was warp charge too, but if he used his 2 buffing powers, he was left with a warp charge for Ghost Helm if he needed it, which came into play once. So that was kind of cool.
He survived.
Yeah.
He should have been my warlord.
Oh well. Next time, it'll probably be a closer game. I'll play a more normal list.